We just set off from Dakar, and we've decided to stop about 60 kilometres from the border, where we're actually going to meet our guide tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So everyone's pitched tents in a car park outside a hotel because the rooms are full. We're going to get up early tomorrow morning, catch up with our guide. We're supposed to meet him at 8 o'clock.
After an uncomfortable night's sleep in a hotel car park, the teams woke to more car troubles and their guide was nowhere to be seen. Meanwhile, the teams who had set off that morning from Dakar were on the road. After a pit stop for fuel and coffee, it was back on the road for the short 80-kilometre drive to the Moroccan-Mauritanian border.
We've arrived at the La Frontière, at the border to Mauritania, and as you can see there's a pretty long queue of Plymouth to Banjul rally cars in front of us. Apparently we're looking at a sort of 3-hour search and delay here. We've made it through Morocco, and who would believe that old Betsy even got out of Europe, and she's done beautifully, so fingers crossed things are looking up, very much so. Right. Well, our guy Mohammed seems to think that the border only closes at 3 o'clock, so we might be lucky.
I hope we're lucky with Mohammed.
Yeah.
So, we have simply to be prepared for a long wait.
What's the score, boys?
Well, the rest of the teams have been here for 2 hours already.
Great.
Apparently we've got to wait for the guy to wake up before he'll process anything.
Right.
There's been teams that were here last night filling out forms.
Yeah.
And they said you have to wait for the guy to come this morning, but apparently that guy's still asleep.
Is he?
Straight to it, scrambling.
Yeah, there you go.
We're not scrambling, I never give up on fried eggs.
Well, we started with Santa on the bonnet, stolen in Wazan, but luckily we came prepared with a camel for the desert. It took a little while to make the plinth and drill the hole without a drill, but Swiss Army knives are very good. Warning! So apparently you gave a bit of a present to a border guard here at the edge of Mauritania.
Yes, he wanted a bribe, so I gave him 2 bars of X-Lax chocolate.
What does X-Lax chocolate make you do?
Diarrhea.
What are the chances of anyone getting through the border this afternoon if he's eaten that?
Slim to... Right, they'll get through because he'll be sat in the carsy.
I haven't got one.
He'll be round the back of the hut, squatting.
How long did it take us to get through there?
What time is it? 5 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, 5 hours?
5 hours to get through one border post.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Hopefully soon we'll be seeing a Mauritanian border outpost, so we can buy our visas.
Crossing the Moroccan border and the minefield was stressful enough, but compared with the Mauritanian border it was child's play. Here the order of the day was patience.
We're here at, where are we? The Mauritanian border. And we're waiting again, I think, aren't we? For
the Mauritanian officials to have their lunch.
Having waited for the Moroccan people to get through all of their paperwork, we're now waiting for the Mauritanians.
Warten. Durch ein scheiß Minenfeld gefahren. Warten. Naja, Afrika.
Waiting in the sun, doing nothing.
We're standing here in front of the Mauritanian border and we're waiting.
Doing nothing but waiting.
That's all we've been doing is waiting.
Waiting.
And waiting. Every time there's a checkpoint, you wait.
There's no real relief for bocce here though, so it's a bit unfortunate. There's a bit of tarmac. I don't want to go out in the dirt because there might be mines. So I'm just going to sit in the van and suck on a lollipop, mate.
Been sat here for an hour. The guys have gone to lunch, which is nice of them, so we thought we'd have a bite to eat.
Waiting and waiting. We're still waiting to get through the Mauritanian border, but no worries, it's a sunny day and we'll probably sit here for another few hours.
Warten, weil die Herren Zöllner jetzt gerade ihre Mittagspause machen. Und wir hier so knapp in der Sonne stehen, Kom nog Wasser haben. Ja, dort war er eigentlich schon.
Now we wait. And wait some more. And wait a little bit more. And after that we wait.
And wait, and wait, and wait.
What are we doing, Dave? We're waiting mostly because the guys have fucked up for lunch.
We've just been, if I can say this, stashing all our alcohol so that when they ask for special cadeaux, special presents, we don't have to hand over all our alcohol for New Year. So hopefully they won't search my knicker drawer in my rucksack to find all the alcohol, because apparently they don't like rummaging around in women's drawers, so I'm sure we'll be fine.
We're still waiting. We'll be waiting here for a while, I think. At the still in no man's land, chilling out, eating the Children of Africa's little sweets that we brought along, and Lee's smashed most of them, as you can see. So that's worked well. A bit like our car, really.
After hours of red tape and vehicle searches, we were allowed entry. Some teams had been lucky with their alcohol stash, others had had theirs confiscated. However, some of the guards got more than they had bargained for.
Slide over.
But we managed to get our sambuca through the New Year anyway. So they wanted to take our ragu pasta sauce, which seems very strange. Maybe they don't have it in Mauritania.
It's only
Oh, it's Africa now. It is definitely Africa now. Yeah, it's good.
Any adventures or troubles?
No, not really. Just a pain in the arse with all the waiting and go to this hut, go to that hut. You know, hand over money here, hand over money here, change your money here, and then take it over here. And but we're here now. We're all in good shape. Vehicles are in good shape. Some of us are anyway. By this stage, everyone seemed to be fixing engines, except Keith,
Listen.
who was trying to educate the locals about blues music.
I'm just going to do some more minor repairs, but it's a ongoing thing, really.
The issue of guides for the desert had still to be resolved. Well, it's not easy when you only speak pidgin French.
Okay. We made it. Bit of a dubious day with waiting around and piss farting around and giving some money, and all in all it was what I expected, really. It went alright. So the guide's an interesting chap. So we'll see where he takes us.
Tomorrow we go to one place, maybe 110 kilometers to here. Tonight for a big group. After tomorrow we go in other place, very nice, dune, very dune. This second days, 3 days in the beach, drive to beach, very nice place.
Yeah. He's saying, yeah, you have guides, you can have guides for 100, but they don't know the route and they are not good guides, blah blah blah.
No, we just said that we thought we were getting 3 nights in the desert.
Because
and he's saying we're not, and then he said we were.
That was successful bargaining, the price has gone up.
Demain matin. Sorted. Is that un cadeau pour moi?
Il n'y a pas de problème.
Yeah? Oh, mercy. Oh, you are a top bloke. How much do I have?
Top dollar.
While the issue of guides and money was taken care of, some teams headed for the beach.
So how are the swimming conditions, Dom?
If you have a look at the fringe of the water, there is so much shit that I think it could be an extreme health hazard.
This is Africa and this is what we came for.
Exactly.
Quite pleased actually, quite excited about getting away tomorrow and getting in the desert.
Yes.
The Blazer, our 4-wheel driver, is running well now, so that's good.
Did you know you were going through a minefield today?
Yes, we did, but we didn't think that bit had mines in it because of the tyre tracks. We knew we got a little bit lost, but we saw cars coming the other way around the same route, so we just plumped for those. But it was scary. I was scared.
There are no signs that there's a minefield, and you will see the odd sort of disabled car at the side of the road, but that might be because it's been stripped by because it broke down or whatever. But actually there is a minefield, and if you want to go for a pee stop, just pee on the road. You don't walk off into the bushes and pee, even if there are people around you. You just pee at the side of the road.
We've not been doing very well. Every day we set off at 7. Yeah, 7. Half 9, 10. Invariably because the blazer can't start. So.
And we got through without even being searched.
We got searched, but they weren't bothered. They actually went past a can of beer. And he was like, have you got any beer? I went, yeah, it's there. He picked it up, he went, you keep and put it back. And then they wanted a present, so I gave them X likes chocolate. 2 packets.
You've got a radiator problem.
Yeah, we've had it for a while. It seems to do it like drip very occasionally, and then suddenly when it gets hot it'll just drop all its contents.
It's all we seem to do is like fixing cars. Right. Like, it's like being a scrapyard dealer, isn't it? Yeah. But even worse, because you actually get things running again. You don't actually just scrap them.
Worst case scenario, we're going to go leave tomorrow for the desert with a leaking radiator and just take a shitload of water with us.
I break boots for a living and radiators currently. And what else have I broken lately? I think I trod on something expensive earlier. I can't remember what that was. I pulled the thing off the door, the opening thing. Oh, and the speaker fell out.
After the day's excitement and a much needed shower, it was time to venture out and sample Nuadabu's nightlife. However, a distinct lack of nightlife meant we settled for a stroll around a bustling, busy local market.
That was full on in there. Actually quite cool, but full on. Full on.
Because it doesn't matter how long it takes me to get ready, it always takes much longer to start the car.
Our pipe that we glued on has fallen off, but we just kind of wedged it back on for now. We're hoping for the best on that one.
Basically, the exhaust is one of the few things that hasn't broken on this car. It was starting to feel a bit left out.
I'm sorry, there's no photography.
Well, basically, what's happened so far is that Max has been running around pretending to do things at corners and stuff like that, while I've been left with the car, which means I've taken on a slightly more domestic role on this trip so far.
So we arrived in Mauritania yesterday. We spent the night in a campsite in Nuadabu. We're driving down through the Western Sahara at the moment from Nuadabu back in the direction we came yesterday, following our fearless leader, Mohammed. So the adventure really begins now. And now it's down to a little bit of Mohammed and a little bit of modern technology. Hello Mohammed. Ça va?
Ça va bien.
So we lost?
Huh?
Are we lost?
Where?
We're just getting ready, letting our tyres down. We're about to head into the desert. Just waiting for Mohammed. We're not sure whether he's going to pray for our safeness or just going for a quick slash.
Here we are, in the middle of nowhere.
That was the other group, the other 7 cars just buzzed past there and they all stopped, and then that's the blazer, isn't it? It was kind of having a few problems.
Which way did they go?
They kind of went that way.
They went screaming past that way. You know the guy who's got the Volvo that he's made into a convertible? Yeah, he was
starting to be inside already.
Yeah. He was just caning it down there.
Max can't drive for shit, but other than that, we're all right, mate.
So how are our fearless leaders getting on?
Oh yeah.
Big Red. Big Red.
Big
Red. We're doing good.
We're trucking.
Tell us where we are.
I haven't got a bloody clue.
Ready to roll?
Wicked! Oh yeah.
Boys ready?
Yep, we're ready.
Ready to rock.
And with that, the tarmac ended and the desert began.
It's New Year's Eve, 31st of December, about mid-morning. We set off quite early this morning, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, after a little bit of an argument going on at the campsite between the guides. A couple of cars have already been stuck, including ourselves. No major dramas, that is a fairly simple process of just pushing yourselves out the soft sand and then giving it another go. I don't think it's too much of a surprise for people back home to know that we've smuggled some alcohol in.
You gotta go fast over that corrugated shit.
No, you
it'll
don't.
smooth out. How many tires you got? It's not gonna break anything. You gotta go fast. Well, why don't you put Akmak in your car and go as fast as you want? You know, and then we'll just follow behind you. No, I'm not trying to be funny.
No.
It'll smooth out. It'll smooth out on your ass if you'll start riding over it. I'm telling you. It's like we're on a fucking school zone or some shit. You know, waiting for the kids to run out in front of our car. Come on, we were going 80 miles an hour on a hot fucking freeway, and now we're going fucking like we're in a school zone. It's gonna hurt your ass, okay? It's like, you know, but if we go like this, we'll be there in 2 weeks.
How does it feel over those bumps though?
Horrendous.
Yeah.
It's like these are really short, you see. So, and they all got springs. There's no springs on one of these. It's just a lump of rubber. And the 4x4, that's all right. That can fly over, but you'll know.
This slow shit, man. You want to go faster, faster, faster.
You know we don't got a short car. Why are you taking us through this deep shit? But it was okay on the highway when Jeffro was driving 80 miles an hour with a top-heavy pickup truck. It was okay. When the tires melted off, it was okay for him to whiz on by 80 miles an hour. But now that we want to go 40, he don't even want to go 20. Wait a minute, I gotta hit my bong one more time.
We got stuck twice. Women and driving. But it's not because we wait so much. It's not. It's just the need for speed.
We've gone to the garage to pick up a car, and the owner's sort of popped off, and he said, you know, here's the keys, stick the battery on it, and start her up, and you know, see if she runs. So we opened the bonnet up, we had all our overalls on, got the battery in, put the cords together on the battery, fucking nothing at all. Tried it, swapped it around a bit, nothing. Guy came back, we were like, listen mate, your car's a banger, you know, it's not working, it's not working. Walked over, looked at the battery, changed one cord, turned the key. After 18 months the car started, and he just turned to us and said, how the fuck are you going to get to Africa? But we're here.
Even have to stop, change it to 4-wheel drive low because there's no power in it, so I have to start and stop on the firm stuff and then just get a big run up. That's why I was like bursting past everyone down here.
We had only been in the desert for the morning, but already it seemed like a lifetime. Hours spent pushing, pulling and digging cars out of the sand proved enough for everyone. It was time for lunch at the Big Dune, where we caught up with a few of the other teams, some of whom were having issues with their guide.
He's trying to break the cars so that then they get left here and then he gets to keep them.
Really?
Well,
the routes we've been coming, you would say so.
He just took us over rocks that were just like, there's no way this car would get over them. And he's like, yeah, it's no problem. We're not happy.
It's a lot nicer digging your car out of the sand than the Sahara.
But we've had a few problems with our car.
It did, yeah. The brakes filled up with sand and it stopped at the top of the sand dune.
I think more important than the
we got
pipe.
We're here. rock and it broke our fuel pipe.
Whilst we were still.
But the gaffer tape saved the day, yeah, again.
Yeah man, there's a bit of a weird situation going on in the camp. I don't know exactly what's happening, but the groups that we've separated in have made different decisions on where they're going to spend New Year. Some want to seem to go on and camp further on, some want to stay here.
Asked all the guys, and the next campsite's going to be just as windy. One said more windy. Not saying it would be more windy, but it would be just as windy.
The guides had their own agenda and wanted the teams to stay at the Big Dune. Their idea was to sacrifice a couple of goats for a huge profit, but due to the windy conditions, the fact that it was only lunchtime and concern for the goats, half of the team stayed while the rest pushed on in search of another location for their party in the desert.
I think we're going to park up for the end of the night. It's New Year's Eve, so I think it's party time. It's been a hard day of driving, and I think everyone's looking forward to a wee drink, so might as well get to it.
It was time to stop, and by sunset the wind had died down. The goat-loving teams were about to enjoy a goat-free New Year's Eve celebration. However, the others who had stayed behind had eventually decided that the goat sacrifice was not such a good idea, and were desperately trying to catch up. They never made it and were forced to park up in the middle of nowhere, which was a shame as they missed out on a great feast. Not goat, fondue.
Actually, it's not a normal one, it's a desert fondue. The difference is that it takes longer to prepare a desert fondue. You have to steer more. And the important in steering is that you have to steer in the form of the number 8 and not in the form of a circle or a 0. That's the most important about preparing a Swiss fondue. The rest is not so important. You just have to have a bit of patience.
Tell me, Jeff, why did you leave me hanging over there with no shoes on my feet, and no key to the car, and no toilet paper to go to the bathroom? I mean, I still gotta go to the bathroom, Jeff. Over at the campsite, they wanted me to use the bucket, and I don't like the bucket.
There's a tree over there.
It was gonna cost me 3 pesos for 3 sheets, and that's too much dinero for. And it wouldn't last either.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No, we
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Mwah, mwah, mwah. 3 times, it means gelukkig nieuwjaar, gelukkig nieuwjaar.
The next morning, New Year's Day, the teams awoke feeling pretty fragile.
I hate sun. No, seriously, I do. I'll be happy never to see it ever again.
Yeah, we're all packed up, ready to go. It's been a little bit rough, but I've been feeling rough with flu for so long. I'm used to it, so but this is definitely alcohol-induced. Large amounts of sambuca and champagne and vodka and beer, so it's a bit of a mix.
The desert, ladies and gentlemen.
I've just discovered that I've changed colour.
You were grey, you're now orange.
It's grotty, it is really grotty. Don't know how the camels do it.
C'est bon, sommes en plein désert.
No, French. Español now. I'm the Spanish man.
En deserto. No problema. La vida bien bueno.
Sí.
No hay mujeres.
No mujeres. No, see, there's mujeres out there. They're really big and tall and probably weigh about 800 pounds.
Mujeres. No problema. Mañana. La playa en Nouakchott. Mañana, pasa mañana, Gambia, Banjul.
Yeah, Mr. Drami is eating breakfast with the rest of us. And lunch. See? Breakfast. 60 kilometers, we're going to find ourselves a Burger King. And at this point in my life, I'm satisfied with Burger King.
Keith might have been satisfied with Burger King, but their guide wasn't and insisted on something tastier for breakfast, camel's milk. The camel didn't seem too happy, but at least camels are built for the desert, unlike these old bangers.
It's a mini adventure. We gotta tie this one down. I thought I had it tied down good enough, but maybe not.
Bungee's no good for that. Bungee's stretchy.
After a hearty Bedouin-style breakfast of camel's milk and eventually fixing their mechanical problems, it seemed even the camel was laughing at them as they headed off into the desert sands once again. It soon became obvious why the camel was laughing. It knew what lay ahead. Hours and hours of pushing, digging and pulling cars out of the troublesome desert sand.
We were all feeling a bit rough today. We had quite a messy night celebrating New Year's Eve. The Dutch girls had smuggled in some booze along with a few other people. We got hold of a bit of marijuana from somewhere, and we had a good sing, bit of a dance, bit of a stumble, and eventually a bit of a fall over, and we all slept around the fire or in various tents and cars around a nice campsite. Sorry, Betsy. And we're heading now, hopefully, towards the beach. I mean, basically, we've got sand in places we didn't even know we had places. The Dutch girls, as you've seen, are having the most trouble. Their orange baby doesn't have the ground clearance that Betsy does. I think I win the prize for the most adventurous driver at the moment. I've managed to get Betsy airborne twice. I mean, first time for sure, I think 4 wheels off the ground. You can probably hear her squeaking a bit now. She's not really enjoying this terrain, I don't think. DW camper van's probably not meant to be out here. We passed a couple of cars back there actually, which is the first time, except for our lot in a few days, that we've seen anybody else. And they were just pissing themselves with laughter as they cruised past in their 4x4 high clearance Japanese technology desert eating machines.
Me, it's a desert melon. I've never seen that before.
The only problem when we get stuck is that the door doesn't close.
I'll have a bite of that.
Is that one?
I think so.
Yeah.
It looks like a melon.
Horrible.
It's a bit.
It's not right, huh?
Bit bitter.
Bit bitter.
Probably poisonous.
It's a very harsh life for anyone who lives out here, but there are some, and our travelling freak show makes a welcome break to the monotony of their desert existence.
Of all the places to park in the desert, really booked into me.
It's hard work pushing a 3-ton lorry. We're currently now doing first gear only. So first gear, 200 kilometres. Very interesting.
You gonna get to Banjul?
Yeah, I reckon so. I wouldn't want to buy it when it got there, but it'll probably get there.
Tell us what's up with the Golf.
Nobody knows. They're just disconnecting sensors, running it to see which one makes a difference to try and track back to a fault.
The repair we did earlier has come slightly loose. It's just that the bolts, because of all the shaking and banging, even though we've double nutted it, it's just slackened off. So I think I spend my life just carrying sand ladders back and forwards.
You did a great job.
The scenery is terrific. I mean, you know, all you see is a couple of camels. You got 2 or 3 trees, and all of in the sand, and that's about it. Deep sand. And if you can't keep your speed up, you're toast. Keep going.
I think we're going to drive towards the beach right now, I think, and then it's the beach for quite a long way by all accounts.
Where's everyone pumping up their tyres?
I think it's harder ground now. You know, it's the M1, she said. You know, the M1 of the desert from now on. 100 kilometres all the way.
I got sand in my hair, sand in my teeth, sand in my ears. Huh?
Sand in your brain.
No, sand in the brain. You ready to roll, guys?
Let's roll.
Got a problem.
We've been messing around with our fuel all day, trying everything other than accepting the fact that the fuel pump was perhaps broken. We've drained it out, we've drained the catch tank out, we've blown all the pipes through, and I think the fuel pump's broken. So we're bodging together a gravity-fed tank that can sit on the roof with some hose pipe and some bits and pieces from Stefan, and we're about to give it a whirl. Stand clear.
What do you think, Miss Los Perros Locos, of the chances of this working?
It will work, and we're very proud to help our teammates.
So 100% confident?
100%, 110%. Time to reach the campsite. It has to work.
And looking like that, how can it not work?
Yes.
I don't understand much about engines, but it seems to be very serious. They are trying everything, but the sun goes down in 20 minutes. That gives us the pleasure for another night in sand. It's a different kind of sand. The sand of the beach is more the compact, dull sand. And here we have the flying, lively desert sand. That makes much more pleasure for you, your car and your tent.
I guess we're driving a little bit back or over there, find for the nearest tree and camp over there. We're obviously not going to make the beach today.
What are their chances?
On a scale from 0 to 10, I say 4.
Actually, I was informed that no Isuzu trooper had ever finished the challenge. So, I don't know.
The bodged gravity fuel system actually worked, and the convoy was soon on the sand again.
The technique is drive into the sand, very, very deep, get buried in, and get a large four-wheel drive to tow you out. That seems to work quite well for us. Now, at the moment we're stuck in second gear.
But we have the advantage of not being able to check our engine, so we don't have to worry about it.
We still have about 200 clicks to go, so it's a long way to the next camping ground, no doubt about it.
Our exhaust has gone from blowing to clean snapped in half. Right when our lids start to get some food as well.
What are you trying to do about it?
Take it off, we don't really need it. It's more cosmetic than anything else. There it is, see?
There we go.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to make it. It's too much. It's slowing the whole group down now, and I think if we can fit in the other cars, then that's probably the best thing to do, because it won't make it any further. And we've got the beach tomorrow, and we've got to hit the tides at the right times. And if we're holding it up, we're going to, miss the boat basically.
I'm looking forward to getting the sand out of my eyes.
Yeah.
My contact lenses are just grating against my eyeballs. It's pretty unpleasant.
We put the exhaust back on with a baked bean can and some glue.
Yeah, dead car. So, well, Hugh's doing a good job towing her, but I don't think we'll be able to get her out. It's just a bit more comfortable to share out the stuff, decide what we want, what we don't want at the campsite. So we'll see if we make it. We just don't want to burn out Hugh's car, really.
Losing a lot of water at the moment, but that's because it's running really hot, because we're towing 3 tons of 4x4 through the desert.
It had been an eventful day. Both cars and team members were feeling the strain. There had been mechanical difficulties, arguments, upsets and enough sand to last a lifetime. What a way to start the new year. The day came to a close at the entrance to the national park. Usually the term national park conjures up images of lush countryside and rainforests full of beautiful natural fauna. This one, however, contained yet more sand, and not a ranger in sight.
Exhaust has come off again. That bunch didn't work.
Well, there's a campsite here that started off at €10 a tent.
When you say campsite, what is it?
Well, it's a fence with some very shonky looking little tents inside it. And we're warned about it in the road book. It says there's an exorbitantly priced campsite. I think quite a few people in the group just don't like it. They've got a bad feeling about it or something. Like,
no, I'd rather go that way and find out, because this is a con.
Well, it's down to €5 per tent, which isn't a lot of money.
That's not the point, it's a con.
The next day at the campsite, the teams woke to be greeted by more flying sand. Dom decided to go inside and have breakfast with the locals. This consisted solely of some strong Mauritanian tea and cigarettes.
Salam alaikum.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the campsite, Dom was missing out on pancakes and toast.
If anybody has anything to go in the pancakes, like raisins or...
For some, breakfast was a luxury they would have to do without. Getting their cars fixed and ready for the beach was their main priority.
We're trying to pull the exhaust down again so that it's clear of the gear linkage. So we've got a bit of wood with a bit of metal strapped to it, and we're just wedging it between the underside of the car and the exhaust pipe. But in doing that, it means we're pulling the exhaust pipe down a bit further and making it more likely to get hit.
Ours has got a problem we can't fix, so...
We've just taken our sump guard off because it hasn't guided us very well, and we've actually cracked the sump and lost all our oil.
Down to the octane level of the fuel, or the fuel pump's on its way out.
I am currently going through all our stuff and trying to think what we really need.
It was a sad day for Rod and Kate as they had to bid farewell to the Blazer.
We are gathered here today. Well, this is it. The team's got us this far, and I don't think the Chevy's going to take the team any further, so we'll have to just dump it somewhere over the hill and make our merry way down to Gambia. Anyway, done us well.
It's a very sad day, very sad day. I wanted to save as much stuff that we were going to give away when we got there, because we had quite a lot of things from sponsors to hand out to the children in the Gambia, so we've just left some basic camping equipment, and so hopefully we can still do what we set out to do. But it is a bit sad. I was feeling very philosophical yesterday, but today I am feeling a bit sad about the whole thing.
Got us to the desert at least, that's the main thing. Shame we didn't get to the Gambia and sold off to charity, but I guess they can make use of it here.
I think we've managed to get rid of all the evidence of who the vehicle belongs to.
Once breakfast and the funeral were over with, the teams made their way to the beach for the last leg of crossing the Sahara. There's only a short window for the beach section though, as the teams have to wait for low tide.
Officially, you've been pimped. He's saying we shouldn't go down the beach now, we should wait an hour and a half, because if we get some water in the cars and the electrics, because they're all petrol, it'll cut out, which is true, but I can't see how we're going to get that water in the car.
The approved technique is to just fucking nail it as hard as you can at the beach and fly through, which Hugh excels at, because he only has one speed, which is as fast as possible.
The little Subaru's got stuck the first time. Duck girl stuck, no great surprise, but the Explorer's fucking dug in, his rear left is properly sunk down, so I'm just going to go and get the shovel, so I think Cam's going to do it. The other team seems to have made it before, right though, so I'm not so sure where we've gone wrong with that, we really haven't expected it on that.
In order to exit the beach, all teams must navigate their cars around some troublesome rocks. This means having to time things so you miss getting hit by the waves. Convinced the guide was trying to get his hands on their car, the mini boys lost their cool when they were told to go first.
He's the boss of his car. He is the boss of his car. He is the boss of his car. I'm not his boss, you're not his boss, he's not his boss, they're their boss.
You got 15 seconds, guys.
It turned out to be a lot of fuss over nothing, as in the end the Mini made it easily. But this long into the journey, tempers were getting short and arguments didn't require much to set them off.
We broke the exhaust, that came off, we're leaking oil all over the place. Because some guy's got a massive engine in, which is obviously saved us at some point. We did pretty much go top speed all the way, came to live the spirit of the Dakar. We just fire raced. Just that second ran out of petrol, we just pulled in again, rolled up behind the old turn and burn chav bus, and the engine cut out.
The next day, after leaving the one-horse town of Nouakchott, capital of Mauritania, the teams made for the Senegalese border. It seemed that Hugh was missing driving in the desert as he made the mistake of pulling off the tarmac for a toilet stop. A little later it was time to join the road to the border at Diama. We had been advised to take this route as crossing at Rosso, though much closer, was not recommended. In previous years, teams had been harassed by bribe-seeking border officials and had to speed away under a hail of rocks and stones. The road to Diama was one of the worst we encountered, and it almost proved to be the last straw for Penny. As you can see, a nice road. And Penny's given us a few problems. She doesn't like the corrugations that the road seems to be made out of most of the way. Hopefully we shall make the Senegalese border in about, I don't know, a couple of days. This day? No, we're hoping. There we go again.
Pull the choke out a little bit more and a little bit more when it starts dying, as if it'll let more fuel down.
Max is doing a sterling job today. He's been knocking out the butties all morning and I'm getting quite fat but quite happy still, so that's good.
Don't make it sound like that's all I do.
The Volvo's towing the Plymouth. The Plymouth weighs about 2.5–3 tons, so it stops a lot slower than the Volvo. If we have to stop suddenly, like there's a donkey in the road, which is a regular problem around here, the Volvo stops a lot quicker, and the tow rope's gone slack, and the Plymouth's ran over the tow rope, skidded on it, it's just wrong.
The teams eventually made it to Diama after a bone-juddering drive. However, backhanders were still required here too. And with with one more bribe paid, it was time to hit the road to the zebra bar.
Yeah. We've got one light that's not working on one car, and then one, because the headlights weren't switched on, it wasn't working. We switched the headlights on, it is now working. He doesn't care, he just wants 40 euros.
So how far are we away from the zebra bar?
16k.
15 kilometres.
Yeah, so he just wants to hold the two cars here that he picked out in the first place. He doesn't want to change his mind.
The drive turned out to be longer than expected, and it was well after dark when most of the teams pulled into the sanctuary known as the Zebra Bar. After another tough day, it felt good to unwind over a few cold beers. Following day, some teams took a scenic boat ride into the historical city of St. Louis.
We've stopped here for a few days before the final 300-kilometer leg to Banjul, and as you can see, it's a pretty bustling town. There's 15 teams that are somewhere still up in the desert. We're hoping by the time we get back to the Zebra Bar we're staying that they'll have arrived as well. But right now we're soaking up some of the sights and sounds of the real Africa. This is Senegal, and St. Louis is a really wonderful place.
After driving nearly 2,000 miles on only 30% brakes, Betsy finally got the attention she needed, courtesy of Frank's German mechanical know-how.
Everybody's been through a long trip. It was rough in the desert. I think it took the wind out of everyone. So everyone's got a little bit of a short fuse going on, and we had a long wait this morning for the guide who has to escort us, a police guide who has to escort us all the way through Senegal, because it's illegal unless you've paid vast sums of money for a carnet de passage to travel through Senegal on your own. So we waited for a long time for him, which I think pushed a few people over the edge, but it's all settled down nicely now. We've stopped to give some moral support to Team T.
Is it the water pump that's gone? Oh no, it's split.
Well, the car seems to be overheating dead quick today for some reason. And it's just blown a valve off the pipe, off the heating pipe, so coolant all over the engine, which is alright. So we've got some self-amalgamating tape, which we're going to just bind it with, try and seal it, take the top off the bottle so that there's no pressure in the system, and try and limp it the last 400 clicks or whatever.
Having waited about 2.5 hours, I guess, for the guide, the police guide, to turn up this morning, we left on our way to the Banjul, the Gambia border rather, on our way to Banjul. And soon after we left, Team had some problems with their car. So we all stopped, or at least the back half of the convoy stopped. And the front half of the convoy with the guide in it carried on. Then the convoy started up again, and we tried to catch up with the first half with the guide so that we wouldn't get done at all the checkpoints. And unfortunately, it would seem that the first part of our convoy has just left us. Yeah, the guide's gone. And back there in tears, we got a little bit lost with the junctions coming out and came out on the wrong road. So we picked up this very nice fellow, very well dressed, very well spoken, very friendly. Drove round the corner as he agreed to take us to the right road, and was stopped by a rather unfriendly soldier or policeman or whatever he was, who started shouting something about 3,000 something or others. So it was looking like we were in for a fine. At which point our friend in the back piped up, and it turns out that the soldier works for him. So we had some general in the back of the car, which was particularly handy at that moment. We'd just run a stop sign actually by the railway tracks, so it was looking pretty bleak. But the old general in the back sorted it right out, and we were right on our way. And now we're on our way to Gambia. We've only got about half an hour left of light left, and I wouldn't really like to do much driving on this road.
Well, we're here at the Senegalese-Gambia border, and we're within touching distance of Banjul. We've made it this far, and the Senegalese board guards are being a bit of a pain in the arse. The thing is, we turned up without a guide, and the customs guy was supposed to stick with us yesterday, but he lost us in the convoy. And the guards aren't letting us through without the official paperwork and word from the guide that we were with an official route. We've got a bunch of people in there trying to negotiate with him. He's locked away a couple of passports, and he's not giving them back. Basically, he's on a power trip, I think.
Well, we've just left Senegal. I think we're about to be welcomed into Gambia. It's a little chaotic here, and Linda took all our passports. She's going to go in there and hopefully iron everything out, and we'll get through this as seamlessly as we did the last one.
Linda's good at
Oh yeah, she's very diplomatic yet forceful. She hits him with the velvet hammer, I think.
We made it through the Senegalese border pretty easily in the end. Actually, the guy did back down, and we had a nice 20-kilometer drive through the country in Gambia to the port here, and kids were running out to the street, and nice welcome, and it felt like we'd actually arrived somewhere, which was really nice. They're going to be asking for gifts and anything that you can, basically anything they see in the car they want. They want sunglasses, t-shirts, jackets, anything that they can see in your car, and unfortunately we've got cars stuffed full of stuff.
Fair and square, yeah? Fair and square. Alright, no worries, no ripped off. This is Bob the Builder.
As soon as the ferry arrived and they knew that we'd be gone in 5-10 minutes, the mood changed considerably, from friendly to fairly hostile.
And you get the money, so shut up. Didn't I give you the money? Didn't I give you the money?
Yeah.
Do you have the money?
Hey, don't disturb me.
Do you get the money? I asked you if you got the money. Why fuck you?
And various threats were thrown around. People, in fact the guy's still here outside the window now, and yeah, basically because you can't give something to everybody, you're bound to piss someone off, and the people that you piss off unfortunately can follow you all the way to the ferry and tap on your windows and continue threatening you basically. And although it's not really that frightening, because at the end of the day, you just don't feel threatened, but they are sat there putting their faces in the windows, knocking on the windows, and it's pretty intimidating sometimes.
What do you look forward to?
Beer.
Beer? Beer?
Yeah, the beer's good. It is cold, but it's also very stressful. But I think everything needs to calm down.
Yo, you guys sort out my business. Please, let me just make my business. I go. Me, I'm a local operator. You get me? So we sort these people for them to get inside the terminal. I'm not a bad guy. Please, we make a business.
The other side of this river is Banjul, and I suppose once we roll off the ferry, then technically, because we started in Plymouth and no one else did, we are the winners. It's not a race, but we're still the winners.
That's the ferry going, the last ferry.
This is Gambia, and the Gambia, should I say. We're on the ferry on our way across the river to Banjul, which is the final resting place of all of these vehicles that have been battered as we've driven across 7,000 kilometers of desert, snow, mountains, savannah, you name it, we've been there. And the cars that really were in bad shape in the first place are probably, some of them in worse shape now, some of them are better off. But Betsy, for example, has had a real little makeover on the way.
After a long sleepless night, the teams finally drove onto the ferry and made the short crossing to Banjul.
We're in Gambia. We made it with about 35 piece of shit cars. Most of us doubted if we would even make it with our own car.
Did it.
After their 8,000-kilometre journey of a lifetime, the teams were greeted by Jerry and her staff at the Safari Gardens Hotel.
Welcome to Safari. Welcome to the Gambia, and you've done it. Well done.
Well done, guys.
We did it.
We did it, man.
She is alive.
She's
just about.
chucking oil out.
Chucking oil out. She's bleeding to death.
It was fantastic to have arrived at the finish line. The teams were now able to sit back, relax and reflect on their rally experience while soaking up the African atmosphere in the Gambia. Over the next few days, the competitors were warmly received by the Gambian government and the Olympic Committee. The parade through the streets of Banjul was held for all the cars that had made it. It wasn't quite a ticker tape parade, but we were greeted by the Mayor of Banjul, allowed the very rare honour of driving through the Presidential Arch, and featured on local television.
This arch was built here by the present government when they took over. Decided to build this as a monument for the Second Republic. Now no car is allowed to go through the arch except the presidential motorcade. But the mayors have agreed to allow us to go through the arch.
Yeah, well done.
There was also the small matter of auctioning off the cars. This is a highly anticipated event and draws buyers from all over Gambia and beyond. Affordable cars are hard to come by here, so the Plymouth Banjul Challenge meets the demand as well as raising a lot of money for Gambian charities. The increasing popularity of this rally means the general standard of vehicles improves each year, therefore increasing the amount of money raised.
For me, this moment is an important one. It's one where I feel proud. I feel proud of the place I came from. I feel proud to be a European when I see what you guys have done, you know, the way that you've struggled to be here, the kind of energy that you brought with you, the good stuff that you're doing, and the difference that you're making to the Gambia. Over 15 million dalasi has been raised by the Plymouth Banjul so far. I also end up feeling very proud of the country that I've now chosen to make my home. Okay, when I see the warmth of the welcome and the depth of the appreciation of the people here. So you're fed up of listening to me, so that's all I'm going to say. Okay, enjoy the rest of your stay.
Thank you.
Let's make the auction a good one.
Peugeot we bought for £100 may not have been 100% legal, but she was a good car, so it was with high anticipation that we waited for her turn to go under the hammer.
She's still running sweet, taking a while to slow down, but yeah, she's fine, so hopefully we get some high bids, right?
This next vehicle is a 1987 Peugeot 205 petrol, which I'm informed goes by the name of Penny. This car has a few problems, such as loose exhaust, faulty brake hydraulics, and the offside headlight is not working. It also comes with one spare tyre and a fan belt.
Out of all the spare parts that we needed, we didn't get anything except some spare fuses and a fan belt.
This car was kindly donated by the film crew that are here today. So ladies and gentlemen, let's try and get a good price on it, and you never know, you may end up on international television. Who'll start the bidding today on this vehicle at $5,000 dalasi? Who can be $5,000 dalasi for this? 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, sorry, 10,000, 10,000 at the back, 11,000, 15,000, 16,000, 16 over here, 17,000, 20,000. Any advances on 20,000? 21,000, 23,000, 24, 25, 25,000, 26,000, 26,000. Any advances on 26,000? 26 group 1, 27,000. Any advances on 27,000? 27,000 group 1. 27,000 good twice. So, 27,000.
Yeah, it's a good price, I'm happy. Some of the cars, they start very slowly and then suddenly the bidding starts going and people get very excited. But yeah, 27, it's a good price.
This is Osman, and he's bought the Peugeot. He's bought Penny from us this morning. and he paid the grand sum of 27,000 dilassi, which is just under €1,000. And considering we paid £100 for her, I think that's a fair price.
Happy? I'm very happy, yeah. I'm very happy. Started again, I'm saying.
So yeah, there we are. The end of the story for Penny. She continues here in Banjul, and I hope she gives them great service.
Sold for 41,000. Sold for 64,000. Sold for 44,000. Sold for 19,000. Sold for 42,000. Sold for 16,000. Sold for 31,500. Sold for 20,000. Sold for 175,000. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the day's auction. Thank you very much.
The auction was a great success, with cars selling for better than expected amounts of money.
Mr. Vardy.
We met a couple yesterday who was going to build the orphanage. So when we heard about it, we were interested to take a look. And they're just waiting for electricity and water. And then they can finish the orphanage and get the children in. And they also sponsor the school, so all the kids get free meals. That's why they all gather here for the free food.
They're really doing something good for the kids here. They take them in when they're very young, and they keep looking after them until they reach their 20s and are ready to go out into society. They have technical colleges, they learn responsibilities apart from just everyday school learnings.
Wow, and they're all in uniform, aren't they? So it looks like they've really got something pretty good going on. I was told yesterday at another orphanage that there are 66,000 orphans in the Gambia, and a large percentage of them have got HIV as well, so it's a big problem. But clearly something's being done, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good to see.
After the excitement of the auction, it was nice to spend time visiting some of the charities that directly benefit from this event. The songs of thanks from the children were more than ample reward for the arduous adventure behind us. The last 3 weeks had been a monumental journey in many ways. New friends had been made, obstacles had been overcome, and man and machine had been pushed to the limit as 7 countries, 2 continents and 1 big desert had disappeared in our rearview mirrors. After completing the Plymouth to Banjul challenge, work on Monday morning just wasn't going to be the same.
Get all the guidebooks.
Right. What life's about.
Bring a woman.
I suppose, go again.
We're planning next year's trip already.
I need a shower.
Cadeau, cadeau, cadeau.
Emotive, fun,
Nothing about.
faff, there we go, emotive, fun and faff.
It's been emotional.
It's great, it's beautiful, and I come back. The pimps, the cakes, the dogs.
What a ride. Sand gets everywhere.
What an adventure.
I miss home. I hate sand.
English breakfast, man.
3 words. Fun. Friends, because we met lots of friends. And bodge, because that's what we've had to do with every single car we've had in our group. I think that'll do us.
Rally? It's a bloody long way.
Sand gets everywhere.
Well, no, good night, good luck, and cadeau.
Really good experience. Fucking hell. It's just 2 words.
Fun.
Sunshine.
Sand, wind. I really can't think of anything else.
sun, wind and tired.
Awesome fun, really awesome fun. Do it again.
War sehr, sehr anstrengend, aber lustig.
Something like this.
Kids, don't try this at home. Superman says so.